Okay, so just before coming here, I was sitting with some girlfriends, and I'm probably actually still wired from the chai that I had. And I was telling them I was going to film today, and I asked them if you could have heard any one topic, in early motherhood days, or even just now, today, like what would you have wanted to hear about? And one of my girlfriends said, parenting with, like how to parent with different parenting styles amongst your friends. I was like, man, amazing, because I've talked about comparison traps here, but not specifically what to do when your parenting style is different than those of your friends. If this is your first time here, my name is Dr. Piper Grant. I am a licensed clinical psychologist and also the founder of Born Into Motherhood. I am a mother of 2 girls. I have a full-time practice. Through Born Into Motherhood, I really seek to validate mothers' experiences in motherhood, whether that be the good, the bad, the challenges, the beautiful. I like to talk about all of it, and sometimes have conversations about topics that maybe I wished I had heard more about. And today, I really want to talk about comparison, or how to not get stuck in a comparison trap in parenting styles. Here's the thing. I don't know if it actually ever ends. I'm just going to be honest, because I think as our children grow, there's just other things to compare in terms of parenting styles. But I remember it starting really early on. And whether that be that you want to be more of like a hands-off parent that doesn't say no, are you going to be more of a helicopter parent? Are you more of a disciplinarian, or are you more leaning into the gentle parenting style? There's so many different ways for us to parent. And our parenting is actually really rooted in deep values in our own childhood experiences, whether good or bad, whether wanting to be aligned with them or go in the opposite direction. They're really rooted in, or kind of come out of, also partnership and also environment and what's available to us in terms of resources. So it's a really personal decision and choice. And yet, when you are in community, when you are in village and you are trying to parent with other friends around you, or, engage in social situations with your kids in which there's other kids, it can be sometimes, I'm going to say, like uncomfortable, or even you can become self-conscious. And maybe not everybody. If that's not you, girl, like keep on moving. I am so proud of you, so happy for you. But if it's you and you felt that, I felt that too, and like stay here, because this is what we want to talk about today. I remember like sitting there and thinking, okay, it was just my eldest child and my youngest wasn't born yet. And I was thinking, ooh, I kind of like want to jump in right now. And like, I need my child to be like careful. And, I want to be like, be careful, be careful, be careful. And being with another mom who was a little bit more like hands off, and had like this idea of like, kind of let them stumble and fall, and then they'll figure it out. And I remember that as the first time. And the reason why it sticks out to me is I was like really sitting there thinking, wait, what is my approach to parenting? Like, what is actually my philosophy around this? Like, do I have an idea of whether I want to be like the hands-on one, helicopter one, or do I want to be a little bit hands-off? I was just talking with a girlfriend actually the other day, and we were talking about, she's got younger kids and a younger kid. And she was saying like, she feels like she's more of a disciplinarian, or like stricter than maybe some of the other parents that are around her, and how that can be uncomfortable. And I think it can be uncomfortable in either direction. You could be more gentle parenting and have stricter people around you, and you're leaning more in that way. Or maybe you are stricter and you've got more gentle parenting around you. And either way, you can either feel judged and or judgmental of the others. And so like, how do we be friends? How do we stay in friendships with people that maybe are not as aligned in parenting style, and yet maybe there's so many other ways that we are aligned? I think that there's a few things that we need to check and balance ourselves on that can really help us though in approaching this. First and foremost, just like become aware of your own, and this is like in my journey that I had to figure this out, is like really see if you can define for yourself what is your parenting style. And I don't think it needs to have a label of whether you are a gentle parent or whether you are more strict, or I don't even know all the different unschooling, schooling, I don't even know all the things. But just for yourself, have your own idea of like, what is my parenting style? Do I think that there needs to be firmer boundaries or less firm boundaries? Am I okay using the word no or not using the word no? And like this and that. And then really try and figure out where that comes from for you. Is it rooted in values? Is it rooted in ideas of what you want your family to be looking like? Is it rooted in ideas of what happened for you in childhood and how that aligns now to what you want to happen in terms of your parenting style? But if we have this foundation to come back to, then it helps us be less doubtful of our own parenting style, and therefore more likely to be able to feel confident in parenting in our own way when surrounded by people who might be doing it differently. I mean, there's so many things, right? Like such as how you want your child to be schooled or educated. I remember being at a friend's birthday lunch, and most of us, our kids, were in some sort of time of traditional schooling of some sort, even if it was like maybe Montessori or like a more traditional school. And there was one parent there, and we were all friends and we're all cool with each other, but she was more of an unschooling type of approach. And I remember sitting at the lunch, and maybe it's just like the therapist in me, but I could feel as we were all talking about it, I was wondering, wait, is this one mom who's like more of the unschooling method feeling like she needs to defend herself more? Is she feeling like, oh, she needs to like kind of hold her ground, or others like being judgmental, or she be maybe judgmental of the others who are going for a more traditional method? And I remember watching this. Again, this is where you're like a therapist and you're observing social interactions and being like, am I uncomfortable in this? Because here we are, early days, realizing as our kids are starting to get a little older, how our parents, despite being aligned in friendship and how we all hang out and like live life, there's these difference in how we want to approach parenting. And are we okay to respect each other in that? Or does that feel like too much? And what was really beautiful in watching this one friend, the one who like really is subscribed to like unschooling, is like she knew what that was for her. Like she could really hold herself, actually, as the conversation went on, she could really hold herself in it without having to get defensive. At first I thought she was, but like when I watched it unfold, I was like, wow, actually this is really beautiful, because she could actually like just be in it. And I think because she knew where it was for her, again, where it was rooted for her and what it was. The next part, I think, that I would like to suggest to people, and I realized for myself, is become aware of what are the trigger topics for you, or if there's topics that are more activating for you in parenting. So if it is about like sugar, if it's a topic of giving your child sugar, I think this is where I say it also becomes like it is through the ages. For me, right now, we are dealing with the topic of technology and giving our eldest, like some kids in her class have got cell phones and some don't. And that is the topic of access to technology and what that means and what that opens up for them. And I have had to kind of do all these stages again, because I think it just doesn't change. It's like also curfews and what time you let them out till and like all of these things, right? It's never ending. But I'm going through this again. Okay, what are my ideas about giving a cell phone? And what is that rooted in? Is that just because I'm having fear, or do I have something to stand by with that? And then I get to kind of hold that in myself, to hold my confidence in my decision, in our decision, my husband's and my decision, about why we are not giving our child a cell phone yet, despite half of her classmates having one. And then knowing, early days, maybe that would have been like more of a trigger topic for me, but knowing, okay, is this a trigger topic for me? Is this an activating topic? Because if you know what is activating to you, then you're also able to kind of gently navigate those conversations, right? If it starts to come up, you can either politely excuse yourself to go do something else, or you know that it's coming up. And so you can be like in your own mind, ground yourself, center yourself, remind yourself of what your values are, remind yourself of what your decisions are for your child based on your own values and belief systems. And then you can approach it from there. Lastly, I would say is a gentle reminder that everybody parents differently. Every single one of us parent differently. Even if we subscribe to the same types of parenting styles, everybody does it differently. And that's okay. That's like the beautiful, beautiful thing about parenting, is you get to do it your own way. You get to do it in a way that feels comfortable for you, that works for you, that works for your family, that works for each one of your individual childs, because like even individual children within one family system even need different types of parenting. And so this gentle reminder that your way is the best way for you. That is okay. That is what's most important, is that you act and parent in a way that's in alignment for you and your family and your children. And from there, the rest gets to unfold. I'd like to say that once we have it figured out in our mind, it's kind of there, but I'm realizing in my own journey of motherhood and parenting that it's not. Like I said, now we're facing a new thing and I have to go through the whole cycle again of figuring it out. But if you can find your foundation or your kind of template, I guess, to work through it, then hopefully that will help you every single time we have to go through this cycle over and over and over again. That will help you navigate and find your way. If you enjoyed this, please like, subscribe, follow, do all the things. I hope to see you next week. Thank you.